Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 3 4 5. Hey guys, AJ Town here, live with the T-Storm Chasers, ready to look at this monster storm that's behind us. It's going to start moving through the region tomorrow afternoon and last through the evening and into the overnight hours. We are starting to see this system become more defiant. All the models are starting to come in agreement. So unfortunately, folks, we are going to see this system finally start to move into the area. Just had a quick little blurb there that said I can't hear you, so I just wanted to make sure that everything came on live for us, and we are working. So we'll jump into it right away here. Sorry, having issues with the earpiece. We're going to start seeing the system start to move into the Sioux Falls area and into the South Dakota region here over the course of the next 12 to 24 hours. What we're going to see here, we can start to see this mixed precipitation moving through the area there about that 00 Zulu. So that's going to be about that 6 o'clock time frame, which is going to be just in time for your commute. As it does continue to progress its way east and northeastward, we will see that change over to snow. That'll continue to be a snow system as it does continue to progress its way eastward. Now, one of the models is suggesting more of a mixed ice accumulation, mixed precipitation moving through the area, and that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch very, very closely. So 18 Zulu here, we are seeing 18 Zulu there on Friday. We see that that system's already moved out of the area. Now, one thing we want to mention here, the models have been pretty consistent. Guys, we are watching another monster storm that is going to start moving through the area Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. And finally pushing out of the area here on Thursday morning. So we're watching the system fairly closely. You can see how quick that monster system did blow up there. So that is something we are watching with that low pressure system that is moving over the region there. That's going to bring us that next snowstorm system. I know many of you are like, dude, we're not even over the first one. What are you doing talking about this? Well, unfortunately, folks, we are under a winter weather advisory that goes into effect at 12 p.m. tomorrow and lasts until 6 a.m. on Friday. National Weather Service did put this out and does see some of the mixed precipitation that is moving through the area. Give me just a second here. I'm getting the latest weather advisory pulled up here. Winter weather advisory is in effect until from noon Thursday until 6 a.m. Friday, like I did mention. Mixed precipitation, total snow is about between 2 to 4 inches, and ice accumulations is going to be about 1/10 of an inch, if not less. We are seeing more of that ice accumulation further southward than we are further northward. So that is something that we are paying closer attention to, is going to be that ice accumulation. Good news is we're not seeing that ice accumulation for the Sioux Falls area. We are seeing it more of a Nebraska area. Speaking of ice accumulation, let's jump into that and take a quick look here. Let me give me just a second here. Let me get out of the way here, and as I get out of the way, we're going to look and see about that 1/10 of a millimeter, less than 1/10 of an inch for that Sioux Falls area. Further south we go, we do see about that 1/10 of an inch down right along the I-29 Highway 46 corridor. Further south you go down into the Sioux City, about that 0.2 millimeters, so less than 1/10 of an inch also with that as well. Oh, I thought I lost volume there for a second. We do see further down south into Nebraska area there, we do see those greater snow accumulations that are pushing through the area and bringing that ice accumulation further south there. As we jump into... Give me a second here to get things switched. Sorry. One thing we are watching too is going to be with these wind gusts that are going to be moving through as this does start to load here. Give me just a brief second here. We do see these wind gusts that will be pushing through on Thursday as well, bringing us some blizzard-like conditions with it. Some whiteout conditions are going to be possible. Then what we got to watch for is over the weekend there, that snow that does come in and accumulate will bring us that chance of seeing some of that blowing ground blizzard conditions. So as we continue to look now at snow totals, we will jump into that. I got the ice accumulation, so hold on, I gotta... As we take a look at our snow totals here, we do see that the snow totals from earlier today has increased just a little bit to about that 2-inch mark for the Sioux Falls area. Does bullseye the Mitchell area about 2.5 inches. Further east you go, does increase that. Further south you go, you're looking at about that 1.8 to 2-inch mark. Down in Norfolk, Nebraska, you're looking at about a 1/2 inch of snow. Up in the Brookings area, you're looking at 1.3. Watertown about a 1/2 inch ish. Huron about the 1.3. Valentine, Nebraska about 1.5. Now this is just one of the model runs that we run here and kind of look at things. We're looking at 3.7 inches for the Sioux Falls area, 3.4 for Yankton, 3.8 west of Yankton there. About that Mitchell area, 3.1. And you can kind of see it tapers off there the further south you go. So it kind of does a bullseye and hits it right in that area right there, and then continues to see that. Now, a lot of you are wondering, when is this going to start transitioning and move into the area? So we're watching this system that is moving out of the Colorado Rockies area here. That is going to continue to progress its way northeastward. We can see it out of the Kansas there along the I-80 corridor. As that continues to progress northeastward, you can see that mixed precipitation. Western Nebraska there, we are seeing that snow system. That'll continue to progress its way northeastward, bringing us some chance of seeing some of the isolated rain in front of that. Now, as that does start to make its way into the South Dakota area there, it does transition over to snow. So about that 3:30, 4 o'clock is what we are starting to see things start to ramp up in the southern portions of South Dakota. 4:30, we are starting to move into the Sioux Falls area-ish. We are starting to see that. So that's why we're saying the commute is going to be a mixed precipitation commute there. Is going to be a slippery one. We do see that mixed precipitation that stuck around there as well. As that does continue to progress its way eastward, we could see some heavier bands push through the area. Now give me just a second here and we'll zoom in for you guys, get a closer look at this, and see exactly when it's going to start really moving into our coverage area here. Give me just a brief second to get to that portion of it. All right, guys, as we do start to put this into play here, you can see that isolated showers that are going to start moving into the area as it does continue to progress its way northeastward. We do see there about that 3 o'clock time frame. It's moving through that Wagner, Yankton area, transitioning over to snow as that does continue to move along the Highway 18 corridor there. About 5 o'clock, it's moving into the Sioux Falls area there with that mixed precipitation right ahead of it. Salem, Mitchell, I-90 corridor is basically what we are looking at. We could see the further south there that we go, we do see that mixed precipitation that is sticking around with that there for the Yankton area. For the Sioux Falls area, we're seeing those heavier bands of snow pushing through. So it's really going to play a factor here of what the temps are there. We can continue to see this mixed precipitation about the 8 o'clock time frame. And then as we do continue to progress and everything there, we do see things kind of change back over to snow there about that 10 o'clock time frame. And then as we go into the overnight hours there, we do start to see that push off to the east. So the good news, though, is that your commute for in the morning on Friday is not going to be a snow one. However, we do expect some of these road conditions to be poor and be slick as it does continue to move through. Now, the latest HRRR model run here here is the latest totals that is putting out there. You can see about 2.1 inches for the Yankton, 3.4 for Sioux Falls, Beersford area about 1.9, Sioux Center 1.8, Brookings 4.6, Watertown 6.6, so a little about a half inch. Huron about 5.9. That moved the bullseye over just a little further westward. So something we're going to have to watch is where that low pressure system definitely does set up. Trying to see what my next slide is supposed to be. Temps in the area, as we take a look at your temps across the region, are going to be in about those double digits. We do have some single digits. Further north you go, the cooler it's going to get, just as typical there. Unfortunately, though, guys, much of our region is not seeing temps above that freezing mark. So that is definitely something that we're going to have to watch over the course of the next 12 hours. That's going to play a factor into what this storm is going to bring and what this storm is going to be capable of producing. So as we do look at from the National Weather Service, they are advising of that icing possible. I am right at that 0.01 tenth of an inch is what I agree with. I think the 0.1 inch of an inch of the ice accumulation is a little higher, but I'm definitely not going to disagree with the National Weather Service. I'm just going to give my opinion with that, is that we do see that is a little bit of a higher end of things. But again, that's going to really play a factor of where these temperatures set up and how they set up for the area. Are we going to have a white Christmas, folks? Much of the nation actually looks like it will. Now, this is going to be a snow depth model run, so it is just saying that this is how much snow is going to be on the ground and what we are looking at there. Let's take a closer look back home. What are we looking at as far as snow depth? And, this probability is getting a little better every time that we do this model run to see if we're going to have a white Christmas. And so far, things are looking good. Now, this is going to be just what's on the ground. I really don't look at the numbers. I look at more of if it's snow's going to be on the ground. Don't look at these numbers because this is just basically putting snow totals together and kind of averaging it out. And yeah, I really don't get involved with this conversation. Is some areas going to have a foot of snow, a foot plus of snow? I really don't think so. So that being said, our precipitation outlook for the region is going to be near normal, if not leaning towards that above normal for this time of year. As we look at our temperature outlook, we're right at that same thing. It's leaning below that near normal mark. Say that 20 times fast. So it's leaning towards below normal temperatures for the region. As you can see there on the map there, you can see where it says near normal and then it's below. So we'll take a quick look at our pivotal radar system here. Let me get that fixed here because all right, we got that fixed. Let me pull that up. We're going to pull up our precipitation here. Give me just a second to get zoomed in here. All right, let me get zoomed in here. Certainly do apologize there. So as we look at our GFS model runs here, of course, things like to change on me here and definitely. So the GFS is agreeing with the timing on this as well. Right now it's putting it at 21 Zulu, so it's putting it right about that 2 p.m. time frame, which is in agreement with that HRR. So that is a good sign there. Moving into the South Dakota region, they're about that 0 Zulu. So that's going to be about your 6 o'clock time frame pushing through the Sioux Falls. Now this keeps the ice accumulation further to the west and south, or east and south there. It's not putting that model run isn't putting the ice accumulation as heavily with the GFS. So the GFS is actually in agreement with this next major snowstorm. So this next major system that we are watching is coming into play now with the GFS, the European, and the NAM, unfortunately, is too far out. But this low pressure system is really what is ramping it up and really going to cause us the issue is going to be this low pressure system. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch fairly closely to tell exactly where this next snow system does set up. Now, I will tell you with that next snow system, give me just a second here. With that next snow system is going to bring some dominant snow to the area. Some areas, and I hate mentioning it, but some areas could receive over a foot of snow in some areas. Now, I'm not going to break that down because, again, we're looking at 160, 175 hours out, 190 hours out. Things are definitely going to change, but the GFS and the European models are in agreement with this low pressure system. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to watch very, very closely. Starts Monday, lasts until about Wednesday, Thursday. So we're going to have to really start paying attention to this next winter storm system that is going to be moving through. So we are going to definitely keep a close eye on that as well. Now for our area, again, back on this next snow system, the European model. Let's jump over to that European model. Let me get out of the way here. As I look over at the European model there, we do see that it is right along that 3-inch mark for the Sioux Falls area, 2 to 3 inch mark. That's what I'm going to put it at, too, is right about that 2 to 3 inch mark is what we are seeing with it. But it's really going to depend on these temperatures is what's going to really hinder on how much snow accumulation we get. If we can stay below freezing and get it below freezing and continue below freezing, then we're going to look at greater snow totals. If we're going to be right at that freezing mark, we're going to see more of an ice accumulation with that. So we're really going to have to pay closer attention to those temperatures. So, again, we're going to continue to monitor the snow system as it starts to come into the area. We'll be out with some road reports as things start to ramp up. We'll continue to monitor things very, very closely over the course of the next 12 to 24 hours and bring you guys the latest weather information. I want to appreciate everybody for joining us this evening. Thank you for staying up late with us. We'll continue to monitor this snowstorm as it continues to progress its way eastward and into our area. This has been AJ Town live with the T Storm Chasers with your latest weather outlook. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a great day.